The Weekly starts now.
I'm here with Ryan Cantrell, who's the owner of Trendsetter Homes in Springfield, Missouri. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. I appreciate it. Thanks for
Sure.
having me.
It's great to have you on. And we're going to talk with Ryan a little bit about some challenges and that he faces in his market and some solutions that he's used to alleviate those or to address those challenges. And then we'll dive into some innovation that he's incorporated into his company. But first, Ryan, if you could, just give us a little snippet of Trendsetter and maybe a little bit about the Springfield market.
Yeah. So I've personally been building for about 18 years. Trendsetter, I rebranded my business a year ago with kind of a different new direction. Felt like that there were some things that were missing in the Springfield marketplace. And if I was going to grow my business, I wanted to do things different than I had done in the past. And so Springfield is what you would call a tier 3 city. If you think of like the Major League Baseball, where you've got a major league team, a AA team, and AAA team, we're tier 3. We're a smaller market, and there are not any national builders here. There's a lot of mom and pop builders. There are 2 or 3 other builders that compete directly with me for space and margin and our share of the pie. But there isn't really anybody in Springfield that has taken on more of what the national builders look like. Last year, we built 50 homes in the 2019. This year, as of June, the end of June, we've already built 70 homes. And so we're on pace for 100% growth. We have a pretty wide variety of homes. We've got a entry level, and then we've got a move up and a second move up. And so our homes start at about 169 for our entry level, and then all the way up to some of our move up homes, all the way up to 400,000.
Is that a challenge, or what is your biggest challenge in terms of your market and your business?
Yeah, I would say the managing the growth is absolutely our biggest challenge. So when it was 50 homes a year, I had 5 employees, and everybody reported to me. If there was a decision that needed to be made, they pick up the phone, they call me, I make a decision. We were in constant communication. All 5 of us were always talking, and decisions were made rather rapidly. It was very fluid. There wasn't a lot of need for processes. We were all talking all the time, and we were the process, if you will.
Right.
But we were very lean. And so as I decided that I wanted to take my business in a different trajectory, I realized that we needed to be appropriately staffed. And so we're up to 35 employees now.
Wow.
And with that comes a level of structure that is needed, because I can't have 35 people report to me. So there's a chain of command that we've had to establish. But because I hadn't had those systems and processes in place, we're creating those all while trying to manage the growth of the company and just the day-to-day. Maintaining just the day-to-day is a full-time job, but then consistent improvement, right? Putting those systems and processes in place. And so I would tell you that that is really the biggest challenge that I face today.
To help define and refine the processes and systems to help manage growth, Ryan enlisted his team.
Our entire team gathered for a series of meetings where we sat around, we talked about the things that we do really well, we talked about the things that we don't do so well, and then we talked about just the vision of the company. As we talked about what we don't do well, we created a series of action plans for each department, and we set up a list of, by importance, this needs to be accomplished in the next week, needs to be accomplished in the next 30 days, or needs to be accomplished in the next 3 months. And then we report back as a group every other week on where we are on those tasks. And a lot of those tasks are about putting systems and processes in place so that we can scale and be duplicatable.
Right. That's great. That's really terrific. And I think a lot of builders can learn from that, especially ones that are, not the huge publics, but ones that are kind of in that middle group of production builders who are looking to grow, looking to get better, and looking for solutions for that. And I think that that's a really excellent example of how you're kind of challenging your team, but also coming up with the means to continue to grow and manage the growth that you've got. So that's great. Like a lot of larger builders in larger markets, Ryan and his team took initiative during the early stages of the coronavirus pandemic to maintain a healthy sales pace.
The biggest thing that we've done is taken what we have trained our sales staff to do and said, how do we bring what we know works in this environment, in a sales arena, sales center, and bring it to the buyer where they are. We can't get the buyers to come in. We've got to meet them where they're at. And so we worked night and day for 30 days to put together a professional product that took the scripts that we knew were tested and took the buyers through a process, and we put that into a slideshow presentation, and then worked in an actual interactive tour where we were meeting with live with people, not just I know a lot of realtors, and they did, bless their hearts, they did the best that they could. They would take an iPhone and they would walk and they would say, this is the bedroom and this is the kitchen and this is the other bedroom. And then they might post it on their news feed on Facebook, or it might have been with a customer. And so we were actually able to take our entire process, put it into a slideshow presentation where we're still talking about the history of Trendsetter Homes. We're still talking about the features and benefits of why they would want to own a Trendsetter home, and produce it into a product that was professionally done that leads them on a path to hopefully make a decision to buy a home from us.
Ryan's leadership in Springfield, the first to open a model home, the first to have a sales center and a trained sales staff dedicated to his business, and the use of technology has attracted the attention of his competitors.
I've got 4 other good sized builders that are close in size to what I am. And it's their success is good for me too. Like I said, I don't share my trade secrets, and I want to kick their butt every day that I wake up. But them having a healthy and thriving business is good for Springfield.
Right.
And so if I can, in some way, give them some sort of advice that puts them in a position to come along with me on some of these things that I'm doing that, quite frankly, I think Springfield needs. If I can give them some encouragement, give them the direction that they need to take that step to move in this direction, I'm all for that. I'm confident enough to believe that my sales process and our training, we carry the name Trendsetter Homes. I work tirelessly to make sure that I'm always ahead of everybody else. And so the information that I give, it's honest and it's sincere, and I hope that it helps. But I plan to always be 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody also.
That's great. Hey, Ryan, again, thanks. This is great stuff. And I appreciate you being on with us, and have a great rest of your day and a nice holiday weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.